welcoming the number 2 seed James Madison onto the field. Weber State in town out of the Big Sky. FCS semifinal action next on ESPN. Two and 3 seeds in this tournament set to face off here in Western Virginia. James Madison, the 2 seed at home, taking on Weber State. North Dakota State handled business earlier this afternoon against Montana State. They await the winner on January 11th. Chris Cotter, Mark Hertzlich here at James Madison University. James Madison, they've been to the semifinals 3 of the last 4 years. Meanwhile, Weber State, though, it's new territory for them. They've been knocking on the door, finally making their first appearance.
Yeah, this is the farthest they've gotten their playoff run, and what a huge game this is to be able to knock off JMU. The last time these two teams met was in 2017 in the playoffs when JMU came back from a deficit, kicked the last-second field goal to end Weber State's dreams. Weber State is going to try to rectify that and continue their revenge tour this playoff run.
James Madison does have that national championship. They won it in 2016, but they've kind of been waiting to get that moment again to hoist up the trophy. Haven't been able to do that yet. We'll see if they can come back again this year. They have some amazing defensive ends, 2 of the best defensive ends in the country on the same team.
Yeah, you can absolutely say it. Rondell Carter and John Daka, they bookend this James Madison defensive front. They have 28 sacks between the two of them. And Rondell Carter, he's just in finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year in FCS. These two are terrors, and they're going to get after the quarterback tonight. Let's look for the ball to come out fast from Jake Constantine, the quarterback's hands, in order to protect it and to keep it in their possession.
Yeah, Carter is a finalist, as you said, for the Buchanan Award. Only 3 finalists still remain for that award for the Defensive Player of the Year in FCS. We'll speak to those players, speak about those players quite often in tonight's game. Good crowd here tonight in Harrisonburg at Bridgeforth Stadium, as we are just moments away from kickoff. Thank you, Bill. Chris Cotter, Mark Hertzlich, Paul Carcaterra here at Bridgeforth Stadium in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Just getting set for kickoff between Weber State and James Madison. Camden Wise puts toe to leather, and we are underway. He's got it on the return. Just gets out to about the 29-yard line. Weber State will take it from there. Paul Carcaterra down in the field. Carc?
They're hitting down here, gentlemen, but good news for Weber State. Their best player, Josh Davis, he's playing. Last week against Montana, he left the game with a hip pointer. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He was the top freshman in the FCS a year ago, winning that Jerry Rice Award. He changes the way Weber State plays offense. JMU will load the box, and games aren't won on paper. Big-time favor when you look at the stats for JMU, but Weber State will come out swinging.
Thanks, Clark. Kevin Smith starts in that tailback spot. He'll get the carrier on the right side. Still fighting for yardage. Give him about 4 yards before Mike Green makes the stop. Jake Constantine, quarterback at Weber State.
Yeah, he's been a guy who's a JUCO transfer, and the coaches really rave about his preparation. He's been an efficient passer this year. He's not a huge runner, but his mobility in the pocket allows him to escape some sacks. He does have to have a little bit better of an internal clock in this game than he had in the previous to pull the ball down and run to pick up some positive yards.
Smith in the backfield again. Constantine back to throw over the top to Cooley, and defended nicely on the play by Rashad Robinson, who's been battling injury for a good part of this year, but he's playing strong lately.
Yeah, and we were wondering how soon it was gonna be before JMU got pressure. Well, it was play number 2. They brought pressure off the weak side of the formation, made the ball come out fast. Great play on the outside, knocked the ball away. Great big 3rd down to start this game.
3rd down and 6 for this Weber State offense, facing this vaunted defense, top 10 in so many categories for James Madison. Constantine rolling to the right. Throws downfield short of his intended receiver, McPherson. And James Madison holds on 3rd down to presumably force a punt.
Yeah, great defense by JMU. Great job in coverage, passing off players in the zone. Created nowhere for Constantine to throw, and now JMU is going to receive the ball on a punt.
D'Angelo Amos set to return this punt. Has 1 touchdown on the year, averaging over 13.5 per return. Doug Lloyd puts his foot into it away from Amos and just kills it right inside the 30. So James Madison will start their first offensive possession right there at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, when you look at that, you see JMU's offense, how dominant they've been in the FCS. They are scoring so many points a game, and their offense going against Weber State's defense is the good-on-good scenario matchup of this game. This is going to decide the outcome of the game, who can win this battle, and it really starts up front. Weber State's defensive line is one of the best in the country, led by 94 Jonah Williams at defensive end.
Ben DiNucci, the quarterback for this Dukes team, transfer from Pitt, couple of years starter. Here's Juwan Hamilton trying the right side of that defense, give him about 2 yards. Kurt Signetti in his first year as the head coach here at James Madison, couple of years at Elon, was an assistant under some of the best, most widely known coaches in the country. Nick Saban, Johnny Majors, just to name a couple of them throughout his career. Give again to Hamilton. This time up the middle, picks up about 3, and James Madison now will face a 3rd down in their first possession.
Yeah, Signetti he's learned so much from all those coaches you talked about. You talked about Saban. He just learned that consistency factor, play the next play. Right now, they got to just play this next play on 3rd down, pick up a few. Don't go for the big shot, just continue this first drive.
DiNucci out of his hands quickly, finds his tight end, Dylan Stapleton. That's a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want to do out of that 2x2 set. They put that big tight end, Dylan Stapleton, 6'5", 240 in the slot, and they just run him away from the inside leverage defender. Really good throw and catch. Worked really well for them a few weeks ago, and they went back to it early today.
JMU will go with a little bit of tempo from time to time. Not all the time, but they do like to speed it up, more so than Weber State when they're on offense. Lots of time for DiNucci. Now he's flushed. On the run, complete. Nice catch by Jake Brown. Now they're going to say, he still caught it. Officials discussing things right now. Incomplete. Now they change the call. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, it looks like he controls it on the way to the ground, but let's see if it pops out right at the end.
2nd down, 10.
Yeah, it looks like
right there. Yep.
Yeah, it's rolling around on his stomach and falls to the ground. Good call by the officials.
Maxwell Anderson on the hit, the true freshman from Hayward, California, getting playing time tonight because Mark Collins is suffering from a concussion he suffered from last week, still in protocol, unable to play. On the end of the round, that's Brandon Polk. Great speed, but he's not going to get a chance to use that speed. Swarming defense by Weber State. Drops him for a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, it was a good job by Weber State's defense to control him, but Brandon Polk has been the difference maker at this JMU offense this year. He came in as a transfer from Penn State. He started 16 games for the Nittany Lions and came here and is just able to do so much. You see that little pitch to him in the backfield, but he can run really precise routes and gives that explosive factor on the outside for this James Madison offense.
3rd and 9 from their own 43. DiNucci looks to the sideline. Tight formation for the Dukes. She goes. Caught this time by Riley Stapleton.
Yeah.
Dylan Stapleton and Riley Stapleton, the twins.
Right. The 2 big boys. They're both 6'5", but you got to throw them the ball. And Ben DiNucci fit that one into a tight window. He has been so efficient this year. One of the things that plagued him last year was throwing interceptions, turning the ball over when he was running, letting the ball get away from his body. He's been really good this year at not turning the ball over and making throws just like that for 1st downs.
JMU in Weber State territory for the first time. DiNucci keeps it, has a blocker on the outside. Inside the 35, out of bounds for another 1st down. Big block by Dylan Stapleton. Coach Signetti told us to watch out for big number 84 outside blocking on the perimeter.
Yeah, absolutely. You already saw him catch a ball, but what he's so good at is when he gets his hands on you as a blocker, he uses his length and size to body you up. And with great job there to create space for Ben DiNucci to pick up another first down, this time on his feet.
DiNucci with the give. Powering for yet another first down is Percy Ajeobese. First time we've seen him today, and he's one of a stable of backs that JMU will throw out there, trying to keep fresh legs in this game as they move the chains and the clock continues to run. This time, nothing doing for Ajeobese. Just lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, let's see if he subs out now. Coach said, oh, here he goes right now. Coach Signetti wants to use multiple running backs. He said, if you see my guy touch the ball 3 times in a row, I'm subbing him out, getting someone fresh in. Juwan Hamilton now is taking his place. More of a speedy running back, catches more passes out of the backfield.
DiNucci will tuck it and run. Won't get far. Maybe a yard, 2 yards. We'll give him 1. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Noah Vea was there for the stop for Weber State.
Yeah, it was good rush lane integrity for Weber State. They brought pressure, and too often when you bring pressure, a quarterback can escape through the line of scrimmage. They stayed in their gaps and forced Ben DiNucci to just fall forward for a few yards. Now this is a big 3rd and long. JMU's been good in the red zone all year, but so has Weber State defensively.
They've converted a couple of 3rd downs on this drive. Here's another one for the Dukes. Pressure coming. DiNucci stays tough in the pocket. Here's Polk. Tries to make a move at the 15, cannot. Nice job defensively by Maxwell Anderson, the true freshman. We called his name a couple of times already.
And Mr. Anderson stepping up big. This was a fantastic tackle because Polk is wide open, and he, instead of turning upfield, tries to make a move to the outside, and Maxwell Anderson doesn't lunge, plays his feet, plays his man, good eye placement to make the tackle, forcing a 4th down and a field goal attempt.
Ethan Radke. Weber State fans are saying, is this guy still on this team? Beat him with a last-second field goal a couple of years ago. Now trying to put JMU up top early here. Oh, off the upright and in. Radke puts JMU up early, 3-0 in this semifinal. FCS semifinal, Jay Hill in his 6th year coaching the Weber State Wildcats. Before the game, got his team fired up.
Hey, now listen, hey, these games like this, you fight your whole life to be in games like this. Keep it simple, it ain't that hard. Hey, it ain't that hard. You play one play at a time, move to the next one. Dominate your individual battle, one play at a time.
Yeah, dominate one play at a time. Good job on that first opening drive defensively to hold them to 3. You got to continue that on the offensive side of the ball, as they have not had a ton of production as of late in these playoffs.
Mika Tupuola on the return on a short kick, dropped at the 30-yard line. Weber State will take over their 2nd offensive possession of this game.
I love that. Look at the coach. He's saying, fair catch it, but no, don't fair catch it. You get in the stat book 92. As a returner.
Yeah.
So when we get the stats next week for this game, they'll say 92 had a kick return. Yeah. That's awesome.
When Kavika has a chance to return a kick,
take
hands on the ball. When you're number 92, you're going to do that.
Press man on the outside.
Kevin Smith in the backfield takes the handoff, bounces it outside, now cuts it up. Give him about 3.5 on 1st down. Rashad Robinson there to make the stop.
And if I'm scouting Kevin Smith, number 4, the running back for Weber State, I say I want to keep him contained inside the tackles. Don't let him bounce outside. He runs more upright than Davis does, and don't want to let him get that burst to the edge.
Smith underneath, incomplete, defended nicely that time by Adam Smith in a strong safety position.
Yeah, Adam Smith was recognized 3rd team AP All-American He's just so good from that safety position. He can cover the slots, does a lot for this team defensively. And now, Jake Constantine doesn't want to get in these 3rd and long situations, because this is what Rondell Carter and John Daka really tee off. You're going to see them with their tails high in the air coming off the ball. Here they come. They're sending pressure. Man to man.
Ty McPherson can make a man miss. Too long, but forced out of bounds before he gets to the marker. Dimitri Holloway was there. First time we've mentioned his name. It won't be the last tonight.
Yeah, well, Corey Heatherman, the defensive coordinator for James Madison, showed blitz early. He dropped back. He fooled me. And that blitz told them to swing it out to their receiver, but with James Madison dropping back in coverage, they were all over that bubble pass. It'll be a game of cat and mouse, showing one defense, playing another defense, and it's going to be up to Jake Constantine to determine and decipher what JMU's doing.
Both these teams excellent on special teams as Doug Lloyd puts his left foot into it. Amos makes the catch and is dropped immediately.
Yeah.
James Madison fans looking for a flag, but they're not going to get one. Nassim Colvin comes down on special teams and drops Amos. James Madison up 3.
The NCAA FCS Football Championship, brought to you by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
James Madison with the lead here in this game early, 3-0. Couple of championships for the Dukes over the years, including this most recent one back in 2016. Fell to North Dakota State in 2017. National championship before last year having a very disappointing finish, but this team has elevated themselves, just behind. North Dakota State is the team of the decade. There's no question about that, but I think JMU is right behind them right now in terms of what they've been able to do. And Cignetti has come in and said, we belong at the top and we're staying there. Hamilton on the carry. He's not going to get very far at all. Met at the line of scrimmage and dropped immediately by Isione Lapuahu.
Lapuahu, just a physical player on the inside. He's a big 290-pound defensive tackle. Ate up that block, got in the backfield. This defensive line for Weber State is definitely their strength, and they need to do a good job of stopping the run early.
Nothing doing on first down. 2nd down and 10 for DiNucci. Has time. Once again, hitting Stapleton. Turns it upfield. He's close to a first down. Looks like he'll pick it up.
I like how JMU is switching between run and pass, and they're getting the tight ends involved. They're getting the ball out on the perimeter. I think what we'll see next is the ball get thrown to the running back at some point soon. But they're doing a good job of changing up the play call against Weber State's defense, keeping them guessing early in this first half.
Polk in motion. You give to Hamilton. Strung out. Maybe picks up a couple.
Yeah, Noah Vieira, he's just a monster at that linebacker position. He's 5'11", 220, not a huge guy, but he hits like a truck.
Isn't that very typical for the better defenses at the FCS level? Guy 5'11", but can really hit and run and bring it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And one of the reasons some of these guys fall to the FCS level is just because of their height. If he was 6'4", he'd be playing for FBS. He'd be playing somewhere.
DiNucci now chased. He'll keep it, looking for that first down marker. Run out of bounds by Vieira, about 3 yards shy.
Brings up another 3rd down. 3rd and 3. This is what Ben DiNucci wants. All his options become open at this point. Able to keep 2 tight ends on the field. For that under route at the top of your screen. And Polk coming across.
DiNucci rolling to his right. He might want to keep it, and he does. Picks up the first down before going out of bounds.
We talked to Kurt Cignetti about Ben DiNucci. The first thing he said is don't sleep on his athletic ability. He can pick up yards on the ground running the ball. It's not just that mobility in the pocket, and they design plays just like that. Him rolling out to the big field So he has a run-pass option on his own. He can either throw it to the sideline, pick up the first down, or if everybody's covered and drop back, he can take it on his own.
Yeah, over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground for DiNucci. And give to Hamilton, just powering his way into the secondary. He's still on his feet. Gain of about 9 yards on first down.
Yeah, he did a great job of just following his blockers. Look at Jawi Jackson, number 60, the right guard. He follows him right up into the hole, and when your offensive lineman can get 5, 6, 7 yards downfield before they make a block, there's a lot of running lane for the running back.
Now is Bese coming in to spell Hamilton, keeping these backs fresh. Bese will take the handoff. Down, picks up the first down. Palauni making the stop from his defensive tackle position, but not before a first down. Another first down for Weber State, or for James Madison, rather. Plenty of time for DiNucci. Now he's flushed in. He'll run. Lots of room to run. Goes down inside the 30. Another first down.
Great job of getting to the top of his route. Weber State's in man-to-man. The number 13's in the middle spying. As he leaves that middle of the field, it's just wide open for Ben DiNucci. He has a clock in his head, and once it counts down and buzzes, he says, I need to take off and run or throw the ball away. Great job there of finding open space up the middle.
Bese knifes his way through that line. Give him 3.
And Obase is he's the more physical back. He's not necessarily bigger, but Go said he runs bigger than he looks. I mean, the guy, I don't know, Cod, I don't know if you can squat more than him. He squats 600 pounds.
Yeah, like 6 reps total, 600 pounds.
So you can do 6 reps at, okay.
No, 100 pounds.
Oh, see, I
times.
got you, yes. Cumulative. You can cumulatively squat
That's exactly right.
600 pounds in one set.
No, that dude is a tank.
Yeah. He drives his feet and he uses it to his advantage, which is really good.
Pocket stays clean. Now it breaks down, but DiNucci able to roll out. Looking downfield, just looked like he was trying to throw it away, but he was able to find Stapleton, his safety valve, right on the sideline, and he picks up another first down.
Yeah, great job. This is called a scramble drill. It's worked on every day in practice. When the quarterback is scrambling, someone get to the sideline at the 5-yard line and at the 10-yard line and work back to the quarterback. Stapleton does a great job of finding that location so that DiNucci can just look up and hit him with the ball.
Methodical drive here for JMU. Already up 3-0 in this game. Now pressure on the backside. Does get rid of it into the end zone. Touchdown! Riley Stapleton extends JMU's lead.
Yeah, Riley Stapleton on the double move. Just worked his way back inside the cover 2 safety. Ball was placed perfectly by Ben DiNucci. It's an easy pitch and catch for that touchdown. And that play was set up by the same formation and a complementary play earlier in this quarter, where instead of hitting the post move inside, Stapleton broke it out to the corner, and that really played off of this safety. So let's continue to look for more complementary plays from this JMU offense. Great job there, great call to get the touchdown.
Radke with the point after. It's good. 10-0 James Madison. Riley Stapleton, who once dated Kurt Signetti's daughter back in their days in Pennsylvania. Obviously still in the good graces of the head coach. Scoring all Dukes. .207 remaining in this first quarter. A dominant quarter for James Madison, as you can see the numbers, and Riley Stapleton on the receiving end of an 18-yard touchdown strike from Ben DiNucci, putting James Madison up 10-0. That touchdown catch culminating a 79-yard, 11-play drive that took over 5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, it's really good, just working methodically down the field. And Ben DiNucci, you talk about efficiency and completing those passes, just dart after dart to his receivers and using his legs to gain yards and create room in the pocket. Just really good drive by James Madison to settle down and take a firm 10-0 lead over Weber State.
Kendall Lyons kicking off for JMU.
7 of 8 throwing the football as well. Here's Hayes Hadley. 5 tripped up there, falls forward at the 28. Weber State, 3-time defending Big Sky champions, and that's saying something because that's one heck of a conference. Probably the best conference in FCS. They had 4 of the 8-seeded teams in this tournament. Beat Kennesaw State. Then they were able to defeat Montana, a game where they picked off Montana's quarterback 5 times, had 6 sacks, had a blocked punt for a touchdown. Playing the way they play, defensively strong defense, strong special teams, even scoring points on special teams to get that win over Montana in the snow in Utah. Here's Davis, first time we've seen him, cuts it back, picks up a couple.
That is the first time we're seeing Josh Davis. Coach Hill said he would play. He's the difference maker, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. This is an offense that is searching for points in production. 113 yards against Montana. Against a team like JMU, you cannot fall behind big time. You need the superstar Josh Davis to make JMU respect the run game and open up the pass.
They fake now, pressure coming. And Constantine tried to get it to McPherson. Just had to throw it off his back foot, couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah, and he had to throw it so fast because John Daka, number 7, was just in the backfield right away. You see a miscommunication, tight end, running back, pressure on the quarterback. Great job of getting his hand up, just throwing the ball away. It was a dangerous pass, and already it's 3rd and long for Weber State on offense.
You can see the Wildcats yet to pick up a first down. It's going to be a difficult task here on 3rd and 9. Crowd getting into it here at Bridgeforth Stadium. Davis stays in to protect, going long as Constantine overthrows his man, David Ames.
Yeah, well, this time JMU showed pressure, and they brought pressure up the middle with their linebackers, and it's the right read, right throw, but just great coverage on the outside by MJ Hampton, and nowhere for the ball to land. And we're getting close to danger zone for this Weber State team. Clark, you mentioned how they haven't scored a ton of points, and the problem is JMU is so good defensively and offensively that if they get too big a lead, watch out.
Amos, fair catch at his own 35, makes it. Let's take a look at how James Madison got here. They lost their opening game of the season. Since then, that game was to West Virginia. They've won 13 in a row. Number 2 seed, they were number 2 ranked in FCS all season long. They beat Monmouth. They scored 66 points after getting down early in that game. And then, sort of almost the antithesis to that game, they shut out Northern Iowa, so they proved they can score a lot of points, and they proved that they could stop anybody from scoring.
Yeah, and I think in that Northern Iowa game, the disappointing thing for Coach Zanetti was that the turnover bug showed its head again. And a couple fumbles, interception, but the defense stood up and defended a short field from a lot of the game. And he was very encouraged by the way the defense could handle that sudden change situation.
Fake to Hamilton, DiNucci keeps, he's got a lot of room, 50, waits for a blocker, gets down to about the 45, 20 yards on first down, they'll move the chains.
Yeah, another amazing block by Dylan Stapleton. He's going to come across the field from right to left, and that's the man they're optioning, number 44. He passes him by and goes to block the most dangerous threat, number 7. Big running lane again for Ben DiNucci on the outside.
Polk in motion. Give to Hamilton. Bounces off a defender. Now trucks one. Brought down after a 10-yard gain to the 35, 34. It's a first down.
Gosh, well, Javon Hamilton must have heard us talking about Ajay Obase running bigger than he is, because look at that right there. Lower your shoulder, big man. And that is running. That's a truck stick. He just ran him over.
Credit Jacoby Harris, the true freshman, for hanging in there and bringing down Juwan Hamilton after a first down. Hamilton again. This time he tries it wide right. Cuts it back. Runs into the back of his own blocker, but picks up 4 yards on first down.
Right now, JMU's just being methodical. They're running the ball when needed on first and second down, throw the ball a little on third down, and they have their offense doing exactly what they want.
You're exactly right on that. 10-0, James Madison on top and moving once again here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. After 1 quarter of play, 10-0 Dukes. James Madison cheerleaders, fans excited about the first quarter they just witnessed here on their home field. Heading into the second quarter, look at those numbers, Mark.
Yeah, James Madison has been absolutely dominant. And the surprising thing is really how many yards they've been able to put up. Weber State, we thought it'd be a little bit more difficult to move the ball against them, but it seems like everything James Madison tries is just able to work. Let's see if that continues in the second quarter.
Base powers his way for about 4. It'll bring up third down and short.
I think every time we talk about third down for JMU, it is third down and short, and vice versa. It's been third and long for Weber State. So once again, the whole playbook's wide open. They have a big bunch stack at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if they throw the bubble screen out there. Ooh, it stopped.
Well, Jay obviously didn't get anything. Right into the teeth of that Weber State defense. And now it goes from third down and 2 to fourth down and 2. Well, this is a huge stop if they go for it with that Weber State defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Weber State bring a run pressure, anticipating that run, and it worked beautifully. And now it's a big decision. 4th and 2. And it looks like they're keeping their offense on the field. If I'm the Weber State coach on the sideline, I'm saying earmuffs. Put earmuffs on. Pretend you can't hear the snap count, because last thing you want is to be drawn off sides and give them a free first down.
Play clock winding down, and purposely so by Kurt Signetti. Calling a timeout here. Talk things over. There you see Coach Signetti. Maybe a bit frustrated at the communication. Either way, his team faces a fourth down when we come back. Coach Signetti and his assistants and his offense talking about this impending fourth down, and it looks like even after the timeout, Mark, they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, they are. It's right on the edge of kicker Ethan Radke's range. It's about a 45-yard field goal. They've been good on fourth down. They're second in the FCS, converting 10 of 12 on fourth down. It's a makeable one, but going against a vaunted Weber State defense.
Nucci to throw on fourth down. Steps up. Finds his tight end, Stapleton. Makes the catch and converts.
Yeah, what a job by Ben DiNucci to step up in the pocket. He feels the pressure, he steps up and should lead it out in front of his big tight end, Dylan Stapleton, but good adjustment, coming back to the ball and holding on to that one. Now they're 11 of 13 on fourth down. Keep the drive alive.
Not bad coverage by Austin Tesh, just really strong hands by Stapleton to bring it in. Give to Hamilton. Patiently looks for his hole, nothing develops. Stuffed by Noah Vaea. Several other Wildcats at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Great read by the linebackers, flowing over top and getting downhill. Stop that run, and no yard gains and negative plays. That's what this Weber State defense is thriving off of, and needs to be limited by James Madison's offense and Ben DiNucci. Got to get positive yards on first down.
DiNucci has all kinds of time directing his receivers. That's Polk. Looking into the end zone, right at the goal line, and they're going to rule him down and inside the 1-yard line.
Gosh, and he was so close. He scored a touchdown in 9 straight games coming into today. Let's see if he can make it 10 right here. Gosh, it looks so close.
Nothing from that angle definitively says he got across, though. They're going quickly. The give to Hamilton. He'll make it academic.
Danucci kept it, actually.
Oh, he kept it on that. Wow. Faked everybody out, including me.
You got the streamers thrown from the fans. Touchdown by Danucci. Good job of riding it in there. Bit of a magician he was here. Fooled us from the booth. Gosh, great job. Fake the camera guy out. Jawan Hamilton did a good job of selling that as well. Another really good monotonous drive downfield by JMU. Put the ball in the end zone.
Radke converts 65 yards, 9 plays. Another long drive, almost 4 minutes off the clock. James Madison looking to get back to that championship game, and they're on their way here early, up 17.
The NCAA FCS Football Championship, brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Yesterday, Weber State taking a trip to D.C., seeing some of the sights. Arlington National Cemetery. Saw the changing of the guard, Capitol Building. Utah Congressman Rob Bishop took them on a tour. Others went on their own and saw some of the National Mall sites, so pretty cool for them to come this way. Not many of their players, as a matter of fact, the furthest east any of their players go is Louisiana, right?
Yeah, you know, most of these guys haven't been out here, and Jay Hill thought that if they are going to be flying into D.C. anyways, they might as well show their players. Ball on the ground.
Still on the ground. Finally, Vika Tupuolo was able to fall on it, and it will still be Weber State ball. Capital One Bowl Mania continues Monday with the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. UCF taking on Marshall, 2:30 Eastern on ESPN, also available on the ESPN app. How nice was it today to be able to turn on the tube at noon and see wall-to-wall bowl action, FCS playoff action, football. After, like, you know, you get this little a couple of weeks after the championship weekend, and we're just jonesing for it. Now we got it back. Quick completion to Devin Cooley, and that's a nice pickup on first down. This James Madison defense has been pretty darn good, huh? 7 quarters, scoreless. Can't do better than that.
No, not at all. And you know, the very first play 2 games ago, they gave up a 94-yard touchdown run, and since then they've given up 0 yards the rest of that game. Last game, just really good job on defense to stop them on first and second down, create third and longs.
Constantine off the mark, tried to get it out to David Ames. Just not on target.
Just getting back to that Washington, D.C. trip, Jay Hill, you know, he just felt like it's something that his students, his players, as student athletes should see the state capitol. He thought regardless of anyone's political mindset, let's just see where everything takes place, get a sense of history about this great country, and so he took time yesterday to do just that with his team.
2nd down and 10 for Weber State. Give to Smith. He's not going anywhere. He'll lose 2 yards.
All right, well, this is 3rd and long again for Weber State. This is again where JMU wants to tee off and send pressure. They can drop back, they can send pressure, they can do whatever they want. But it's absolutely not the place that Jay Hill wants his offense to be in, because the playbook becomes so limited. You need to get so many yards just to come back in this game.
And Jay Hill, if nothing else, wants to keep his defense off the field a little bit longer. Constantine, here comes the pressure, does get rid of it as a receiver downfield. Defended nicely. Ames was the intended receiver, but didn't have a shot. Wayne Davis out of his linebacker spot was running down the field with Ames.
Gosh, that was such a great coverage by this linebacker. It's their spur position, kind of a mix between linebacker and DB, but great job of getting his head back around, using that right hand to go and high point that football. As was a good throw, even though he was under pressure. Absolutely smacked by Bryce McGinley. Another third down stop for JMU defense.
Lloyd with the left foot again. Fair catch by Amos on his own 18-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 19. First down for JMU. Let's take a look at the day by Ben DiNucci. It's been pretty solid so far, to say the least.
Yeah, I'd say pretty solid. He's been 9 for 10, 88 yards, a touchdown. He has a passer rating of 196.9 because he has been so efficient, has not put the ball in harm's way, and so much is opened up passing the ball by him being able to pull the ball down and run every now and then. A true dual threat quarterback for this JMU offense.
Throw, has time on the sideline, complete. That's Stapleton staying on his feet inside of Weber State territory.
Well, Riley Stapleton is 6'5", 230 pounds going against a 5'10" cornerback. And this is what you do sometimes. You max protect, you throw the ball up to your 6'5" wide receiver, and he comes down with it, and that's just a very strong play. It's things like that, plays like that, I think could take him to the next level, either at wide receiver or tight end, because of his size and catching ability.
Timeout on the field, Cart. Weber State taking the timeout. Regroup. James Madison on the move again.
It is all JMU, and their quarterback, Ben DiNucci, has been on fire. And gentlemen, I spoke to him this week. Last year in the FCS playoffs, they lost to Colgate and he threw 5 picks. He's thrown 5 picks the entire season. He's been taking care of the ball, and he's also taking shots at this Weber State defense. He's really confident in terms of his outside playmakers, guys like Riley Stapleton. He knows those opportunities will come, and this kid has put together quite the senior campaign.
Yeah, that time Adam Rodriguez dropped him in the backfield.
You jinxed him, Kark. First big hit he's taken. He has you to thank for that. But you're absolutely right. He's done such a good job of managing this offense. And when Curt Cignetti turned on the film from last year, he said it almost made him sick, ill to his stomach, because there were so many balls put in harm's way. They worked all offseason to eliminate that. He's done a great job responding to coaching this year.
Pressure coming up the middle, and he tried to get it to Riley Stapleton, defended nicely that time by Camden Garrett.
Good job right there. Again, that size advantage that Stapleton has. Good job of getting up there, knocking the ball away. And now this is the first time all night we've seen a 3rd and long for this JMU offense. It'll be interesting to see what Weber State decides to do, if they'll send pressure and force the ball to come out even earlier. JMU's gotten in this bunch set frequently, and they're going to either cross across the field or explode out to the sidelines, depending on what Weber State does.
Under pressure, DiNucci evades it at first, now throws it up and throws it out of bounds. So forcing a 4th down, and that was huge for this Weber State defense, if nothing else, just to give themselves a little bit of a rest, get off the field, get their offense back out there to try and make something happen here in this 2nd quarter.
Harry Kelly, punting for JMU.
First punt of the game from Harry O'Kelly. He's going back at his own 39, puts his right foot into it, a line drive. Hayes Hadley's going to catch it at his 6-yard line. That's the first man miss, but now a wave of purple tacklers come down to drop him at his 11. And Weber State now will have a long way to go to get back into this game.
Yeah, and JMU's defense has been great. They're going to make it hard to get back in this game. all day they've done what we thought JMU defense would do, get pressure on the quarterback, some big hits causing some errant throws, and then the backhand coverage has been fantastic. You see the linebacker working through the pick route, making a great play on the football, and that's causing so many of these 3rd and long plays. And when you get to 3rd and long, you can do so much more defensively. JMU's defense has done a fantastic job so far in this game.
Give to Josh Davis. He has some room, got a lot of speed. Fights his way for first down yardage.
And we haven't called Josh Davis's name too much, and you wonder, he had that hip pointer last week, and wonder if they're trying to limit his reps. And when you get banged on your hip, a hip pointer is basically a deep bruise right on your hip, right in between that bone and that muscle, and sometimes that can flare up when you get back running and moving. So it'll be interesting to see how much more they use him, especially now they're in crunch time, down 17. They need some explosions on their offense.
Constantine under center, fakes it to Davis, gets a little help with the block. Couldn't get it to McPherson. Fans on the far side from Weber State looking for a call. Adam Smith defending well on the play.
Yeah, and I think Adam Smith got there a little bit too early, a little bumping. That one was right for the fans to maybe get upset about.
Back to Davis, only 2 carries in this game so far for the 1,000-yard rusher for Weber State.
When you saw when he carried the ball in that last attempt how effective he was. He was able to find his blockers, get behind him, and just he surged forward.
There's also a home run waiting to happen, complete to David Ames. Near a first down, he's going to come up about a yard shy.
And that play, that little slant pass was open, again, because of Josh Davis. Because he was in the game, they had to pull a linebacker back into the box to defend the run, and that really opened it up for Ames. There's so much effect of having number 20 on the field. Third and short.
They're bringing the fullback in now, number 34, Clay Moss, lining up as an H-back there with Josh Davis still in the backfield. Now McPherson in motion. And give to Davis, right side, bounces off a tackler, gets to the outside, runs another tackler over. That was Rashad Robinson. He just put his shoulder into him and picked up an extra 2 or 3.
Well, Josh Davis is not the biggest guy. He's only 5'9", but sometimes it makes it harder to tackle guys that short because you just have no body to wrap your arm around. Really good job by Davis to lower his shoulder right at the point of attack and continue driving his legs. You see those legs churning. Picked up a big gain for that first down.
He runs bigger than 195 pounds, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
Constantine looks to throw quickly. Receiver was covered. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Gets what he can out of it, and that's 3 yards. Landon Word on the stop. People from this part of the country familiar with the Word family. Barry Word, that's his son. Transferred in from Virginia.
And there's so many transfers on this JMU team. They got guys coming from all over the place, from University of Virginia. Rondell Carter came from Rutgers. Wayne Davis from Ohio State. Guys are coming into this team and really they're next level players. They're FBS players, but are playing at the FCS level.
Yeah, there's a look at some of the players, just some of them that have come from other schools and are playing really big roles on this JMU team. Davis picks up 5 on second down. It'll bring up a really critical third down as Weber State gets closer and closer to that midfield line. That offense has yet to cross so far in this game.
Yeah, and Chris, it was interesting yesterday. You talked to Kurt Signetti and you asked him, how does the current transfer portal situation either help or hurt James Madison's ability to get transfers? And Coach said something really interesting. With the fact that there's so many waivers being given out, a lot less players come down a level to play right away.
Yeah, so in some cases, even though he has so many players playing these positions, it can actually hurt him. Davis on third down. He won't get there. As a matter of fact, he'll lose a yard. Rondell Carter among those Dukes. Adi Batariwa also making the stop. forcing another punt from Weber State.
And watch Rondell Carter be able to keep his outside arm free, and as the ball comes across on the handoff, he fights off 2 defenders and sets that edge of the defense. It's so important to set the edge. Let everybody else from the defense swarm and make the tackle. Great job by the All-American.
Jay Hill, Weber State head coach, not afraid to fake a punt or a field goal. Done it on 8 different occasions so far this year, but in this particular case, Lloyd is going to go ahead and let it rip.
The ball does not bounce on this field.
Takes a little bit of a Weber State bounce. Dead right there on the 15-yard line. James Madison takes over, up 17 when we come back. During the break, we saw Dimitri Holloway, James Madison's leading, really vocal leader in that linebacker spot, carried off into the tent. Kark, what did you see?
Well, Chris, you think about JMU and defensively, you think about Rondell Carter and John Dock on the edges, but the heart and soul of this team, you ask any player, you ask any coach, it's Dimitri Holloway, and that last defensive play, it's a lower right leg injury. He came off, he was livid. He took a chair, he slammed it. Training staff has him in the tent, and I'll give you an update when one happens.
All right, thanks, Kark. We'll take a look at that in a little bit here. James Madison now trying to move the ball deep in their own territory. Let's take a look back at what might have been the play that injured Holloway. Here he is on the left side. You'll see him, number 2, right here, coming in.
It looks like he caught his foot maybe on a cleat. So hopefully it's just banged his foot. His foot's probably cold out there and got banged by a cleat. Hopefully that's all it is, and he can return to this game.
Hamilton tries that right side. Another couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. You saw Holloway. There he is right there trying to walk it off. He's out of the tent now.
Shoes off, though.
That right shoe. And he looks like he's heading to the locker room. 4.5 minutes left to go in this first half. They're going to take a closer look at him through halftime. And that certainly is a concern for Coach Signetti and this James Madison team. Pressure coming on the right side, picked up. Underneath to Stapleton. Shy of the first down marker, though. So Weber State might get the ball back with one final shot to put some points on the board in this first half.
Yeah, good job by Weber State. This is the first time they're going to have a field position advantage as JMU is forced to go 3 and out and kick the ball away. It's going to be good field position for Weber State. Hopefully for them, they can drive the ball down and get some points on the board before going into half to build a little confidence.
O'Kelly set for his second punt of this half. Standing on his own 10. Hayes Hadley to receive it for Weber State. End over end. Hadley's going to pick it up at his 38, 34 round. Tries to get to the outside, cannot do it. Nice play defensively on the coverage by Mike Cobbs. James Madison, the FCS champion, will be crowned January 11th in Frisco, Texas on ABC at noon Eastern. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. That, if you get a player injured tonight, is at least the good news. If you're either Weber State or James Madison, and we saw Holloway, you have some time to heal some bumps and bruises, don't you?
Yeah, you do, and that extended break is something that a lot of these teams desperately need. You look at Weber State especially, they're so banged up at that running back position. They really only have Josh Davis and Kevin Smith available for tonight's game.
Constantine, not a whole lot of time to get it to his tight end, Justin Malone, but he does, and a good pickup on first down.
Justin Malone's a guy that I expect to hear his name called more. He's a receiving threat from that tight end position. He's a shiftier guy. Come out of that slot and be a mismatch for some linebackers defensively.
Fake to Smith, out here to Ames, puts his shoulder down, but a nice job defensively to come up and make the stop. It's Charles Tutt, senior out of Clifton, Virginia.
Yeah, it was a good tackle coming up on the play and just reading the box and seeing they have numbers on the outside. But good job of beating the block and coming downhill. So often corners are afraid to make that tackle. Will not tut. He loves it. He has been a good tackler all season, and it was no different in that play.
Big third down here for Weber State. Clock running down close to 2 minutes in this first half.
Max protect look with those two guys by the line of scrimmage.
Constantine now. Pressure comes. Gets rid of it. That one's almost intercepted, but completed. David Ames was out there to make the grab, and now we've got a late flag.
What a change of events.
Wayne Davis almost took that one the other way, and instead it might be a first down. Let's see what the call is, though. First time we've heard from Dan Lewis, our referee, all night long. It's been a fairly clean game penalty-wise. Very clean game.
After the play, personal foul, 54 defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. It will be added to the end of the catch. An automatic first down.
First penalty from either team goes against Kelvin Azanama. Late hit, that'll add 15 yards to this play.
Yeah, and great break on the ball by Wayne Davis. It slips through his hands, and you see that hit right at the end of the play.
Now Constantine going to the end zone, trying to find McPherson. Down to the 1 yard line. They'll mark him down at the 2. Good coverage from Rashad Robinson, but a nice job by McPherson to bring it in.
Yeah, Jake Constantine puts this ball out there perfectly. Look at that concentration, a one-hand grab with the coverage draped all over him. Let's see if he keeps it off the ground. It looks like he does. Great throw and catch, and Weber State using that field position they gained off that punt in scoring position.
Smith, that's going to be a score. And just like that, Weber State is right back into this football game.
Touchdown, Weber State.
I had a defensive coach when I played in college talk about the 17-point lead is one of the most dangerous leads mentally for a defense, because one touchdown, one score puts the offense right back in it. Great play to take JMU's eyes one way, flip it back the other way, and Kevin Smith gets in for the score, and much needed score right before half.
Trey Tuttle for the point after try. It's good. Weber State now down 10 with 1:23 left in this first half.
Kevin Smith does a good job on this play. He's lined up right here in that fullback blocking position. They have two running backs on the field together, and they use him to come across the field and catch the flip, taking the linebacker's eyes out of the play by flaring the running back out. Wide open score to the left for Kevin Smith.
First points allowed by this JMU defense since the second quarter of the Monmouth game. It was their first playoff game.
We talked about it earlier, this never quit, never flinch mentality that Jay Hill has instilled in his players. And you saw right there, 17-0 doesn't matter. What happened last play doesn't matter. We can come back and we can play our game and we can score. The defense did their part to force a 3-and-out, and the offense drove down the field to get a touchdown before half.
Kicking off for Weber State.
Hayden Cowden kicking off for Weber State. Cowden taken by Brandon Polk. Cuts it outside. He's got great speed. 45, 40, still on his feet to the 50. Gets a block. Finally brought down at the 36-yard line. Preston Smith brings him down, but just like that, now JMU is back in business.
Brandon Polk is that dangerous speed. We talked about it at wide receiver, but he can return the ball too. And watch the blocking out in front. You see number 19 running to try to get blocks. 24 out in front, leading the way. So many JMU defenders in the screen at the end of the play trying to lead Brandon Polk towards the end zone.
61 yards on the return for Polk. And with 1:11 left to go in this first half, Dukes are in business once again. Nucci, 35, still on his feet outside. He'll be run out of bounds for a loss of about 3 yards. Looked like he had something going, but Eddie Hecker came up to force him out. It's a loss.
Yeah, and you see at the end of the play, he took a loss because he crossed that line of scrimmage. He can't retreat and then throw the ball away. So good not taking the penalty on that. And talk about no flinch. I mean, once again, a long kickoff return. Weber State's defense, really good, solid play on first down. Now JMU's at a deficit, trying to go in and score their points before halftime.
Solomon Van Horst in the backfield for JMU. Having the pattern. Nucci fakes to him. He's going to keep it. Noah Vaea brings him down after a pickup of about 7 yards. It'll bring up third down. Clock inside of a minute in this first half. JMU calls a timeout to talk about this third down coming up. In the meantime,
30-second timeout.
Going to tell you about Capital One Bowl Mania. It continues Christmas Eve with the SoFi Hawaii Bowl, BYU and Hawaii. I think Jason Benetti's doing that game. Review your pronunciation guide.
Yes, exactly.
BYU and Hawaii. Aloha Stadium. That's Tuesday at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Also available on the ESPN app. Did that game once with Hawaii. The pronunciation guide for these teams usually about a dozen to 15 names. That was about 50 names for Hawaii. But once you figure out how the Polynesian language is spoken, you can pretty much get every name.
Yeah, you can. And you know, the good part about that bowl game though is you're out there on the beach sipping a Mai Tai as you're looking through the pronunciation chart, so you want it to be long because you want your work day to continue out on that beach.
Are you saying that our colleague Quint Kesnick is already out there preparing for the Hawaii Bowl?
Well, that's one that you call the travel department and say, can I get out 2, 3, 4 weeks early?
A lot of prep work. A lot of prep work to be done for that bowl. DiNucci feels the pressure now. He scrambles again. Going to keep it. Couldn't slide past the defender that time. Connor Mortensen coming up from his weak side linebacker spot with a great tackler. That would have been a first down, forcing a fourth.
Yeah, that's a huge tackle. And we already saw earlier, this is kind of 4-down territory right on the edge of the kicker's range.
Timeout.
It'll be 46.
Their third and final of the half. You get 30-second timeout.
46 yards from right here for Ethan Radke, who, as we mentioned earlier in the game, the last time these two teams met, he kicked the game winner as time expired.
And guess how long that one was? 46 yards.
Take a look back. This was back in 2017. Quarterfinals. That's a bomb right here in this stadium. And that sent James Madison onto the semifinals. They would ultimately lose that year to North Dakota State. But it looks like here that Coach Signetti is going to go for it on fourth down.
Yep. He's being cheered on by the crowd as they're playing Baby Shark in the stands.
You love that.
You love the Baby Shark
favorites.
song. It's a top played song of 2019 on my Spotify.
Van Horst in the backfield on 4th and 3. DiNucci, the pass. Flushed. Goes downfield for Polk, and he gets him. Now DiNucci will look to line everybody up and spike the ball. Out of timeouts is JMU.
Wow, what a job by Ben DiNucci to extend that play with his legs. Nothing opened initially. Jonah Williams loses that edge, but just try to find number 3. Where can I find Brendan Polk at? And great job delivering the pass.
You can't really fault Maxwell Anderson, the true freshman. How long can you cover number 3?
No, that is impossible, and that's why you have to protect the edges. And Jonah Williams, the co-defensive player of the year in the Big Sky, has to keep the quarterback in the pocket on that play because, as you said, it's impossible to cover for that long.
Now a Jay Obase in the backfield. Then we'll get a call. Flag against James Madison.
Game number 6, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains, second down.
Delay of game. A reminder, 22 seconds in this first half, and James Madison is out of timeouts.
And you got to realize that play clock's going to start right when you spike the ball. It's not like a timeout. You got that tight bunch set again. Let's see if they break out to the sideline, try to hit their big receivers on the edge.
Nucci rolls to his right. Flag down. He'll keep it just to run out of bounds. Pick up maybe 2. Noah Vaea forcing him out. Let's check the flag.
Holding, 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains, second down.
Liam Fornado, 6'5", junior out of Wyckoff, New Jersey. Check him out at the top of the screen.
You see he gets his hands right under that shoulder pad there, and they don't usually call it when it's inside the frame, meaning inside the shoulder pads. But because of that jump and because of that tug, that was pretty obvious. But
Jonah Williams was trying to get away from him and couldn't.
Yeah. Cordell, second team AP All-American. Really good right tackle for this team.
And now it's second down and forever. 16 seconds left in this first half. Minucci. Ball tipped. Couldn't get it to Jake Brown.
Ooh.
That was again Jonah Williams, who was involved in that last play, the holding call against Fornado.
Yeah.
Raymond Gillespie having a word with Weber State.
I kind of like it letting the big boys play up front. Jonah Williams made a nice inside move and was taken to the ground.
Now, what do you do here? Third down and forever. You only have 11 seconds. I think you'd like to at least get a field goal attempt here, but you got to make sure you don't get tackled in the field of play. That clock's going to run out.
Yeah, you want to try to get 5 yards to the sideline. Look for them to do that. You know, the similar play they've been going to. One short in the flat and one on the deep corner route.
Another flag on the play.
Another delay.
Play a game, number 6, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
These are bad mistakes by a James Madison team that is used to being in this situation. And they're moving backwards now, out of field goal range. They've got to pick up some yardage here if they want to give Radke even a shot.
Protect the sidelines if you're Weber State's defense. Don't let anything outside of you.
Minucci's just going to have to throw this one away. Now 4 seconds left in the half, and they're going to have to try a deep field goal here from Ethan Radke.
Yeah, deep field goal try.
Receiver in the area, fourth down.
Interesting to see if Weber State puts anyone back deep to try to field this field goal in case it's way short.
Almost no wind tonight here inside Bridgeforth Stadium. This would be a career long for Ethan Radke. His previous was 44 yards. This one's 51.
Timeout. Trying to ice the kicker.
Before the snap, timeout, Weber State. Their second and a half. Be a 30-second timeout.
So Jay Hill working a little gamesmanship here. Has another timeout in his pocket if he chooses to use it. And now let's see what Signetti might have been putting the offense back on the field. Radke did get a kick off there after the whistle had blown. It was a little wide right, but at least it looked like it had the distance. And now Danucci is out there talking to his offense. He may put Danucci out there to see if he can just hurl one toward the end zone. Certainly can get it there. It's 34 yards away.
If you have a desperation field goal attempt, probably about the same as a Hail Mary attempt. And when you have a 6'5" wide receiver in Riley Stapleton, you might as well throw him up and get a chance to come down with a touchdown.
Weber State brings some pressure. Nucci into the end zone. Looking for Stapleton, and he makes the catch!
Wow, what a play. Gosh, and Jay Hill's going to be kicking himself for calling that timeout. And when you have a guy with the size mismatch like Riley Stapleton, just throwing the ball up there might be the way to go. And it's interesting, Weber State wasn't ready to defend that. Usually you go in a victory formation, get 6 guys back in the end zone, because you know if anything's caught underneath, the half will be over. Great job coming down with the ball, focus. Riley Stapleton has had an unbelievable first half. The last time these two teams played in 2017, he had a pretty good game. 8 catches, 189 yards, touchdown, no big deal.
That is a tough score to give up if you're Weber State. You fought back to get the score to within 10 points. You thought maybe you can get into the locker room and regroup. And then Stapleton, his second touchdown catch of the day. Radke with the point after. The lead is right back up to 17.
Another look at how that play developed. Take 3 wide receivers to the right side of the screen. Good job stepping up and controlling the ball. It almost came out. But Ben DiNucci just knows, I just need to throw it up and put it in the area. Great job there. And Kark is on the sidelines with Coach.
Coach, you had the field goal unit out. Last second you changed it. What'd you call there?
Well, I saw the field goal go 10 yards short and said we might as well throw a Hail Mary. It's called reinforcing bad habits, because we got to get the play in faster in a 2-minute drill. We haven't done that all year. That was bad. But that's a big momentum swing. Going in the locker room, we get the ball first and second half. Defense playing well up until the last drive. Offense got to get its rhythm back a little bit.
Defensively, Dimitri Holloway, he's your leader. We saw him leave into the locker room with an injury. What's critical for that unit in the second half?
Tucker Dorsey's a capable player. If Dimitri can't go, everybody's just got to do their job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kark. Thank you, Coach. Final play of that first half. Ben DiNucci says, I'm going to throw it up to my 6'5" wideout. Riley Stapleton comes down with it. JMU up 24 at the break. First half dominated by James Madison. Final play of that first half. Ben DiNucci finding Riley Stapleton. Stapleton's second touchdown catch of the game. 24-7. James Madison with the lead at the half. Second half kick coming up right after this. Harrisonburg, Virginia, home of James Madison University. Home team up 24-7. Just getting ready to kick off here in the second half. FCS semifinal game. Winner gets North Dakota State in the championship on January 11th. Chris Cotter, Mark Kurtzlick, Paul Carcaterra down on the field. Backbreaker at the end of that first half. Weber State fought so hard to get it to within 10, and then they give up the touchdown. Now it's back to 17.
Yeah, just when you thought they were gaining a little momentum, they call that timeout to try to ice the kicker, and Coach Signetti saw the kick fall 10 yards short, so might as well throw in Hail Mary, and they did it, and there was not enough time for Jay Hill to get the proper play call in defensively to get everybody back and defend that Hail Mary and just throw right up to big number 10. Stapleton came down with a huge touchdown right at the end of the half.
It gets even worse for Weber State. They're kicking off here to start the third quarter. They do on the kick. That's Polk. Polk had a big return in the first half. Has another one here. Out to the 37-yard line. So good field position for the Dukes. And one of their big weapons there in that first half was Riley Stapleton.
Yeah, he's been big both physically, literally, mentally, subliminally. But this guy's been all over the field. They've just been throwing the ball up to him on the outside. And then this is the play at the end. There's nobody around him. There needs to be 4 Weber State defenders in the area of that end zone. But credit to Riley Stapleton coming down with those balls and using his 6'5" height to his advantage.
Hamilton dancing, trying to find an opening. Can't get out of the arms of Noah Vea. Brings him down after about a 4-yard gain. Hamilton again, this time room to run on the right side. Falls forward, picks up a first down. Paul Carcaterra down in the field. What do you got?
The Hail Mary, Riley Stapleton's touchdown. Jay Hill is the head coach of Weber State. He's also the defensive coordinator. He told me he was upset with the play call and put it on himself. He said he dialed up way too much pressure, should have dropped those guys back in the end zone and in coverage and supporting the defense, but offensively he feels like they have opportunities. They've only had 73 yards passing in this first half. He said the pass game has to come alive, obviously down 24-7.
Yeah, thanks, Clark. They brought 5. We noticed that in that final play of that first half, which gave Stapleton a little bit more room on the back end.
And we talked to Jay Hill about the challenges of wearing 2 hats, both the head coach and the defensive coordinator. And in that situation, you have to make head coaching decisions when you don't know whether you're going to call timeout or not, and you end up calling timeout. Then you have to get your defense back on the field, and then you have to call the right play. And just so many things happen in that short period of time. That was too much for Jay Hill, and he put it on himself, rightfully so.
DiNucci now steps up. Has pressure, just throws this one away as he runs out of bounds. Noah Valle and Jared Sheese both applying the pressure on DiNucci. And again, in the backfield, more offensive linemen and defenders wrestling a little bit, getting a little bit chippy here.
Yeah, it's getting chippy because even though the scoreboard looks the way it does, it's been a competitive game throughout the second quarter and into this second half. Weber State defensively is creating more of these 3rd and long situations for JMU to overcome. Free play.
DiNucci sees it. Goes to the sideline. That's Stapleton again. His 7th catch of the game. It'll be a first down for James Madison.
Great job by Ben DiNucci to see the jump on the offensive line. The defensive lineman jumped off sides, and he knows that I can just throw the ball out.
Offside, 94, defense. That penalty's decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, and who better to look for in that situation than number 10? Throw it in his direction. Chances are he's coming down with the pass.
Big tight end Drew Painter in motion. Jose Obase cuts it back. Gets good yards on first down. Give him about 6. Austin Tesh brought him down, but not before Jose Obase picked up good yardage on first down. James Madison moving once again.
And although they've been able to throw the ball and make some completions, they want to get back to that run, milk this clock, give Obase the ball, and let him carry it for the first downs.
Obase again dancing his way, waiting for the hole to open up, just enough for him to pick up a first down. Take a look at the patience on this play, Mark. Just allowing things to develop.
Yeah, he gets the ball and everything's clogged up. They're running this dual play where they're getting double teams and then getting the double teams off the defensive lineman up to the linebacker. C60 chip. And the patience by the running back allows that play to develop. Good job picking up enough for that first down.
O.J. Obase cuts it back. Still on his feet, bounces off a defender. Gets about 4. Noah Valle, who's going to have about 100 tackles by the end of this game, in on it once again.
6.
And again, we talked earlier in the game, once you see 3 carries in a row by running back, they're going to sub someone else in. And Juwan Hamilton and Ajay Obase have been doing that all season. It's been working to perfection, especially now that they're both healthy.
Hamilton got out of one defender's grasp, got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. Preston Smith was able to bring him down. It'll bring up a third down now for James Madison, and Weber State defense again. They bend, but at times in this game they haven't broken and they've given their team a chance to stay in it.
This will be a big stop here if they can get that stop.
DiNucci Pressure coming on his left side. Flag down. Minucci trying to direct traffic. He's got some room to run if he wants it. Inside the 15, down to about the 12. That would be a first down, but I think we're going to get a hold here in the backfield.
Yeah, I think you're right on Jonah Williams, that big defensive end, creating havoc in the backfield once again, drawing a hold.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay third down.
Yeah, you see it right there. He uses that big right arm slap across the chest of Raymond Gillespie, and all Gillespie could do was just hold on for dear life. Jonah Williams is a guy that NFL scouts love. He's got the size, 6'5", 275. He's got that unrelenting motor to get to the quarterback, and he can play the run really well too. So he is a full package at that defensive end spot.
3rd and 15 for JMU. Minucci back to pass. Has time underneath to his tailback. O.J. Obase picks up about 9, but it won't be nearly enough to pick up the first down. Connor Mortensen and company bring him down, forcing a 4th down and a field goal try.
Good job by Weber State defensively, forcing Ben DiNucci to throw it to his check down. O.J. Obase only has 2 catches all year, and if you want the ball in someone's hands and through the air, it's his. Good job rallying, getting the tackle, and forcing a field goal.
Radke from 37. Was already made from 32 earlier in the night. Radke sneaks it inside that right upright. It's good. Dukes tack on 3 more. They lead 27-7 here in the 3rd.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
I'm pretty much thinking that the FCS champion will be crowned January 11th in Frisco, Texas on ABC. That game's at noon. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. North Dakota State, once again, awaiting the winner of this game. In that title game, they dispatched Montana State earlier today. So the Bison continue their unbelievable run of success here in the last decade, getting back to the championship game. Can James Madison join them? It will be an incredible comeback by Weber State. Justin Haas with the return back to about the 20-yard line. That's where the Wildcats will take over. No stranger to coming back in games.
Yeah, no, they're not. And they trailed in the previous 2 playoff games at halftime, and they've been able to fight back. They had things go their way. They were able to block a few kicks, score touchdowns off a block punt, and get some interceptions, some turnovers. So they're going to need points scored other places besides the offense if they want to come back in this one.
The difference here tonight is they are facing a nasty James Madison defense. Here's a nice completion on 1st down. Tight end Justin Malone. That's a 1st down.
And I like that. I like that play call. You get the ball out of the hands quick, off the run fake, get it to your big short-handed tight end, and can continue to work that middle of the field. I think JMU is defending the outsides in cover 3, and that middle of the field can open up.
Smith had a little bit of an opening on the right side. That closed down in a hurry. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. John Daka, who looks like, even though that's a hood, it looks like a neck roll, and I'm pleased about that.
Yeah, first of all, I love neck rolls. Second of all, I love the way he uses his hands. You see the way he extended his hands and physically threw the defender to the ground. Kevin Smith's a running back who likes to go east and west. That play should have hit up the middle, but Daka was there on the edge to take him down.
2nd down and 10. Smith. Pursuit got to him. Tariwa. Big ol' Adiba Tariwa in the middle. Brings him down after just a 2-yard gain. 3rd and long. Not where Weber State wants to be.
Third down. JMU without Dimitri Holloway in the game has Demontre Tucker-Dorsey, and he's a little bit of a quicker linebacker, number 20 in the middle of the field. didn't have him cover or bring pressure.
Josh Davis in the game for Weber State. An H-back position. Stays in the block. Constantine has a man. McPherson open behind the defense, but he's just overshot.
Oh, man, he had McPherson down the sideline. They ran a max protection, kept 2 extra blockers in, and a double move on the outside. Good job right there to get the defender to bite, but he looked back at the ball a little bit too soon. After that double move, after you get the defender to bite, put your head down and just run for 10 yards and then look back. Led him too much, Jay Constantine did.
Opportunity lost for the Wildcats, forcing Doug Lloyd to come in and punt once again. Lefty puts his toe into it. D'Angelo Amos catches it, picks up what he can, 2 or 3 before stepping out of bounds. JMU back with the ball. Jay Constantine dejected after missing his receiver. Weber State still trails big. Kurt Cignetti, head coach here at James Madison in his first year here at Harrisonburg, Virginia. Comes from a coaching family. His father, Frank Sr., longtime coach at Indiana, PA, head coach at West Virginia. Here's his brother, Frank, who you know.
Yeah, he was coach of the New York Giants while I was there. Coached the quarterback, to see him with Eli and Davis Webb there. But talking to Kurt Cignetti, he said, I knew I wanted to be a head coach by 3rd grade. You know, just growing up in a family of coaches, he knew his path. It was just kind of finding how to get there, and he hooked on with one of the greats, Nick Saban. Early, as Nick Saban first got to Alabama, I said he learned a ton from Saban, and see the other coaches there that he learned under. He wanted to establish a toughness to this team and a never quit mentality that he thought they lacked last year. They're playing tough today.
Hamilton looking for an opening, he's going to bounce it outside. Isn't going to get very far though. BJ Tafalele was there to bring him down.
You know, Kurt Cignetti also came into a great situation. There's not one freshman or sophomore starter on this JMU team, but speaking to the quarterback, Ben DiNucci, this week, he said he's just what the doctor ordered. He's a calming presence. He's the first offensive-minded head coach that he's had in his college career. He said he's made all the difference in the world in regards to the way he sees the quarterback position.
3rd down for Ben DiNucci, his quarterback, and this Dukes team. Pressure picked up initially. DiNucci skirts away from it. Now downfield. Nice job to hit his receiver, but out of bounds. Jake Brown was on the receiving end, just couldn't get a foot down.
Yeah, it's interesting for Kurt Cignetti coming into this team, being a first-year coach with already a team in place. You know, he was telling us it's almost like, don't mess it up. We don't want to mess up what we have going, but we need to find ways to improve. He's done that with this team, and you see them take a new step each and every week, a little bit better in toughness, a little bit better against diversity. And the biggest thing he did, I think, is get Ben DiNucci under control and not turn the ball over.
Kick by O'Kelly. He's going to bounce dead at the 27-yard line. That's where Weber State will take over. Down 20 here in the 3rd quarter. JMU up 20 here in the 3rd quarter, 6:19 before we switch sides. Mentioned North Dakota State with the winner of Montana State earlier today. They're set for the January 11th championship game on ABC at noon. Winner of this game to meet North Dakota State. And if it's James Madison, which with every minute that ticks down, it seems more and more likely, that's a budding rivalry between these two that have really separated themselves from the rest of FCS.
Yeah, it would be the 3rd appearance in the championship game in the last 4 years.
Josh Davis trying to make it more of a game here, late 3rd quarter. We just haven't seen enough of him tonight.
No, we haven't. And you got to think that he's still recovering from that hip pointer injury. I mean, you know, his legs are moving. He's getting some speed going. But you know, if I'm Jay Hill and I'm Dave Schramm, the offensive coordinator for Weber State, I'm saying just get the ball in number 20's hands as much as we can.
He's really your game breaker. And at this point in time, you need to score and score in a hurry. It isn't going to be easy against James Madison. Here's Cooley. Inside the 40, down to the 37. So 2 big plays for Weber State. Has him in business.
Yeah, it does. And when you look, again, number 20 is in the game. They bring another safety, number 24, into the box. And due to the run fake, it vacates that zone. Just Josh Davis's presence in the game forces JMU to load the box more to try to stop the run, and opens up passing lanes just like that.
Constantine the fake to Davis, quickly behind his tight end Justin Malone.
Yeah, and pressure was coming on that play. John Daka got in the backfield, his hand in the quarterback's face. There has been pressure tonight on Jake Constantine, but he's done a good job of getting the ball out and not taking many sacks.
Daka and Carter have 28 sacks between the 2 of them coming into this game. Second down and 10. Davis bounces it outside, takes a hit, and keeps on running. That is a tough 5-yard run, man.
Yeah, why not? I mean, why not? The way he runs, it's almost like he runs angry. You look at like a Marshawn Lynch, obviously a way bigger running back, but just the way he lowers his shoulder and uses his forearm and drives his legs, that's that physical, angry running you don't usually see out of a 5'9", sub-200 guy.
3rd and 5. Give to Davis. This time crashing from the outside was number 24, D'Angelo Amos, for James Madison.
Yeah, and D'Angelo Amos comes down, and watch him come off this edge. He times this perfectly and just goes right off the collapsing offensive tackle, knifes into the backfield, and takes away Davis's legs. If you don't have legs, you can't run.
4th and 7.
He's feeling it.
And this is a situation for Jay Hill where he knows he's in JMU territory. Got to go for it.
Middle of the field's open.
Josh Davis now split right in the slot. Constantine back to pass. Malone incomplete.
Yeah, a little bumping at the top of the route, but Jay Constantine checked off. He saw that middle of the field open and ran. Called that slant to Justin Malone.
And Jay Hampton was right there.
Yeah, good defense on the play.
So James Madison up 20 will take over on downs. Capital One Bowl Mania continues Monday with the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. UCF takes on Marshall, 2:30 Eastern on ESPN, also available on the ESPN app. Fake Rajay Obase. Here's Polk. Swarming defense by Weber State. Isn't going to give him anything. 4 yards on the carry. Eddie Heckard stayed home from that cornerback spot to drive him out of bounds.
Good sound defense by Heckard, just to play his responsibility, follow his man across the field.
Polk, one of many transfers on this JMU team, transfer or graduate transfer from Penn State. 68 catches for 1,121 yards and 11 touchdowns coming into this game. Pressure. Stapleton on the receiving end. His big day continues. That's another first down.
And Ben DiNucci got rocked on that play. Jonah Williams coming off the left side of your screen absolutely demolishes Ben DiNucci, and he's able to hang in there, but that's a big hit that he's going to feel.
Jay Obasing very far, maybe a yard. Right into that teeth of that Wildcat defense. Jonah Williams in on the stop again. Noah Vaya. Clock inside 3 minutes in this third quarter. A reminder, if you hadn't been with us all night long, JMU got up 17-0. Weber State scored to get that lead down to 10 and had a little bit of momentum in that first half. JMU scored on a 34-yard touchdown pitch and catch at the end of the half to extend that lead back to 17, and they haven't looked back. Here's Dylan Stapleton. Close to the sticks. They may have to measure this. Looks like it's a little bit shy. Now a late flag.
Yeah, that could be on Obase. A little physical, trying to throw a block at the end of the play.
We wait to hear from Dan Lewis. I believe you're right, Mark. They're marching this one back.
After the play, personal foul, 31, offense, 15-yard penalty. Down counts, it'll be third down.
And you love the effort blocking, but watch right here. That's Obase. And right that you see the whistle was blown. The runner was not down, but the whistle was blown. And sometimes when you hit a guy too hard, right around the whistle, they'll call the flag. It's third and long.
Third and short. Now it's third and long. Pressure coming. Nucci's going to try and run out of it and cannot. Camden Garrett brings him down for a loss of 1, and JMU will be forced to punt.
Yeah, and they brought...
Nucci looks like he's also shaken up a little bit here, Mark.
Yeah, he does. He's limping off, and they brought an overload pressure from this side, so they slanted the line in, and they brought too many guys off of that side, and just too much for the offensive line, who's sliding away. The running back can only block one of them. Good job on that pursuit by the true freshman Camden Garrett.
Hudson Shank received this one. No fair catch. Caught it at his own 23, and that's where he's dropped immediately. A dangerous play by Shank, trying to make something happen. No harm, no foul. Weber State takes over. Danucci, meanwhile, got inside that injury tent. That's where he is right now. Let's take a look at the play, that last play where he's shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, the pressure's coming off the left side of the screen. Tries to step up in the pocket and see if his knee bangs on the turf.
Or maybe it was the way he was tackled at his ankle, too. That might be something.
His ankle might be down.
Get rolled underneath a little bit. Came up limping, so we'll have to check on that. He's in the tent right now as we speak. Looks like he just emerged. Davis. Weber State, there he is, Danucci. Quick visit to the tent, now he's back out. Clock winding now down to the 1 minute mark here in this third quarter. And with this defense that James Madison has, it begs the question, at what point in time do you start to pull some of your starters up 3 touchdowns? I know the game is not salted away when you're up 20 points in the fourth quarter, but with this defense, it makes it much tougher for Weber State to score 3 touchdowns. Cooley on the receiving end there, they'll move the chains.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But the thought process to me would be to leave them in as long as you can. We mentioned the fact that they're not going to play again if they win this until January 11th. So any little minor injuries can heal by then.
Good 3 weeks from now. Davis. Closed just in time. Mike Green. A couple of other Dukes stopping Davis after a 3-yard gain.
I need to see Jake Constantine start pulling that ball a little bit on that read option. Just have the defenders from JMU honor him, get one less defender in the box, so hopefully Josh Davis can break one free.
Saw Danucci testing out that right leg on the sideline for JMU. Constantine still trying to figure out this JMU defense, running out of time. Duke's up 27-7 as we head to the fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter here at James Madison, Bridgeforth Stadium. Lovely night in Harrisonburg, Virginia. A little bit chilly. Weber State's offense has been a little bit chilly tonight, trying to figure this situation out here before it's too late. They've got 15 minutes to score 3 touchdowns. Their season is over. Davis just got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for Weber State. And Davis is finally seeing some regular playing time. Got carries here and there, Mark, through the first 3 quarters of this game. Suffering from that hip pointer. Clearly not 100%, otherwise he would have been there more. But I think that Coach Jay Hill right now is saying, I got to go with him.
Well, yeah, you're saying you got to go with him, and yes, you do. But I would love to see them get him the ball on a screen pass, a swing pass out in the flat. Just running the ball straight up the middle has not been working as of late. Max protection look now, trying to get receivers down the field.
Constantine has time, gets a receiver downfield, and that's McPherson. That's been his go-to guy tonight. McPherson moves the chains.
Great job with the protection up front by the offensive line and the chipping running backs on the outside, able to step up and deliver that ball over the middle. JMU has been playing man-to-man and vacating that middle of the field when Weber State gets in that empty look. Good job exposing it by Jake Constantine.
Give to Davis, cuts it back. That's 11 yards. Yeah, he really got stuck by D'Angelo Amos.
He got stuck.
But he got the first down.
He sure did, but he tried to put a wiggle on.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of a move.
Yeah.
Tough kid, though, man.
Yeah, sure is a tough kid.
5'9", 195-pound sophomore. Another Sandy, Utah. Another first down for Weber State. Obviously a critical drive. Davis again. Tough to bring down for how small he is. But he still wasn't able to get to the middle, get back to that line of scrimmage, rather. Rondell Carter on the tackle.
Yeah, and Rondell Carter did a great job on that play. He was tracking the running back down from behind, but he has been so consistent over his career at JMU, before that at Rutgers. Coming out of high school, this guy played basketball. He played basketball. He was recruited by FBS schools as a tight end. He had offers from Wake Forest, but he said he just loved getting the quarterback. That feeling of getting a sack is like nothing else, and he wanted to do it. He's done that plenty here at JMU.
Constantine almost picked off, tried to get it to Cooley, but Rashad Robinson couldn't squeeze it.
You look at a guy like Rondell Carter, and I had a chance to speak to him this week. He is a big dude, but he moves so well. He was a tight end in high school, too. He was a commit to Rutgers when he went to 7-on-7 camp. Kyle Flood was so impressed with him, who was the head coach at the time at Rutgers. He said, you could be a tight end at the FBS level, and I'll tell you what, all the accolades, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder because he wants to prove every time he's on the field, those accolades are worthy.
Constantine on 3rd down now for Weber State. Almost got it into Ty McPherson's hands. He couldn't quite squeeze it, though, and it drops incomplete. As we take a look at replay at this one, Carter is up for the Buchanan Award, a finalist, one of 3 finalists at the FCS level for that award for the Defender of the Year, and McPherson should have had that one.
Yeah, should have had it. Just you can't say enough about Rondell Carter, and he has ambitions, absolutely, at playing on Sundays at the next level, and he was invited to the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. He accepted that invitation, so he'll be playing with some of the best college players in the country to show some of these NFL scouts what he can do.
50-yard attempt by Tuttle, and it's blocked. had to keep the kick low to try and get it the 50-yard distance he needed to, and he wasn't able to get it there. Let's see who got it. Looked like it might have been Carter. On Sports Center with John Anderson and my dude Michael Eaves. Bills Patriots post-game coverage. Pats won. They clinched the AFC East title. Plus Rams 49ers post-game reaction from all 6 bowl games. I love that. Sports Center after the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl on ESPN and on the ESPN app. I'm sure they'll talk about North Dakota State winning earlier today. And whoever ends up winning this one tonight. Ben DiNucci keeps it himself on first down, give him 3. Clock ticking down to the 12-minute mark, and after that blocked field goal, which was the 9th blocked kick of the year for James Madison, both field goals and punts combined. It's still 20-point lead for the Dukes, and they're going to clearly work on this clock. DiNucci in no hurry to snap the ball. Opportunity for Latrell Palmer, the true freshman. Gets some playing time, and he bounces it outside. Still on his feet. This is a powerful kid. They love what he brings to the table. And a big first down for this young man out of Maryland who's been injured for much of the year.
Yeah, and he has been injured, and he's a bigger back, 5'11", 230, and he is able to run the ball. See that patience, and then him shed blocks. Man.
Yeah,
he is.
Harris just went for a ride.
Oh boy, he is not easy to take down, and you don't necessarily expect to see him play in this game. When you look at it, you look at Juwan Hamilton and Ajay Obase, and then all of a sudden number 21 hits you like that, and you remember that name.
Palmer again, staying on his feet, picking up what he can. That's about 4 yards before Jonah Williams brings him down.
Clock's continuing to run, and Latrell Palmer is staying in the game, getting some good work. And when Kurt Cignetti got the job at JMU, his first call he made was to Brian Phillips, the strength coach. He had seen what Brian Phillips had done at West Point as the second strength coach there, and just his ability to create some flexibility and some movement and some motion and core stability from his players. It was a relief for a lot of these players on the team who had been suffering from so many soft tissue injuries. Cignetti said when he got here in spring, 13 players missed practice because of the soft tissue injuries, and players have been able to be available and stay on the field because of what Brian Phillips has done with this program strength-wise.
Saw him in the gym the other day. DiNucci now, Polk, wide open on the flat. He'll pick up another first down for JMU.
Really impressed with Brian Phillips when we met him yesterday. I mean, he's a guy that obviously Kurt Cignetti puts so much trust into him, but he believes in the players. He also understands the rigors of a season. But I'll tell you what, when I walked in with Mark Herzlich and Chris Cotter yesterday, I think Phillips was looking at Cotter's arms and saying, wow, man, I wish this guy was playing linebacker for me.
I think he also, Phillips was doing all kinds of core exercises, with the kettlebell where you're laying down and you eventually stand up.
Turkish get-ups.
I'm out on that stuff.
Those things are hard. You got nervous because he said he wanted to put us through a workout.
No cardio.
Yeah, you said I don't do cardio. I just lift heavy things. I pick him up and put him down.
No cardio, no flexibility. I don't want anything to do with it.
But he's changed the way that these players treat nutrition, the way they treat working out, lifting, and when Cignetti got here, he changed the practice schedule up too. They were on the field for 2+ hours under the old regime, and now he wants to get players on and off the field. They don't do very much hitting at all once the season starts. He said they're going to hit enough on Saturday. We don't need to have them practice hitting during the week to get hurt. We want my guys on the field for the games.
Palmer sidesteps a tackler, picks up another couple of yards. Crowd reacting to some blocking going on downfield, but right now that clock, Palmer is working on that clock, running down to 8 minutes. This James Madison team, if all of their backs come back tonight, you know, you talk about DiNucci will be moving on, and they'll have to find an answer, a quarterback next season, but Hamilton, O.J. Obese, Van Horst, and Palmer all slated to come back next year if they choose to do so, and that's going to be a heck of a stable of backs for Curt Cignetti.
Yeah, it really is, and you know, defensively, it's always a problem when they're able to sub in running backs that are fresh. Or wide receivers fresh. And look at that. Those are fresh legs. Those are fresh legs in the fourth quarter. And a guy like that, to be able to run the ball and just grind it out at the end of the game, who hasn't been beat up all year, it's so impressive. And look at that balance. And he's got 4 or 5 carries in a row. He'll come on the bench. O.J. Obese is back in the game. But you're absolutely right, Chris. When we talk about such a senior and junior upperclassman-laden team, it's so good to see a true freshman like Latrell Palmer get in and do some good things. Bright spot for the future.
Yeah, Coach Cignetti said, yeah, I'm losing a lot of players next year because I have so many seniors, but I got a lot of good players coming back. He's very confident in the talent level on this team and their ability to stay at, or at least at the very near top of the FCS ranks. And they're now 6.5 minutes away from going to yet another championship game and facing a North Dakota State team that they are both very familiar with each other.
And North Dakota State is number 4 rush offense in FCS. They have a plethora of backs as well, a mobile quarterback who gets involved in the run game.
O.J. Obese on the left side just loses his footing a little bit. That probably prevented him from finding the end zone. But he was still able to pick up 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short. Clock under 6. Latrell Palmer back in. You got to think that Coach Cignetti, Shane Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, they're just going to look to put it in 21's hands and let him pound away. 10 plays on this drive, 9 of them have been on the ground. 6:40 and counting off the clock, exactly what Coach Cignetti wanted. Give to Palmer. This time he goes nowhere, loses a couple of yards. Jonah Williams says enough's enough.
Yeah, Weber State's loading the box up now. They had 8 guys in the box on that play, and yeah, the problem with that is obviously you want to force them to throw the ball in these situations with the clock running down, but if they do throw the ball, you got to figure out how to cover Riley Stapleton on the outside with 1 guy. And how good has he been? The Stapleton brothers, Dylan Stapleton, Riley Stapleton, 1 at tight end, 1 to wide receiver. They have done so much for this team over their careers, and just a couple of Twin Towers giving it to Weber State today.
Coach Cignetti calls timeout. Looking to put the finishing touches on this one when we come back. (27-7) our score here. 4:44 left to go in this contest. James Madison with a 4th down here. Coach Cignetti sent the field goal unit on. North Dakota State awaits. The Bison won earlier today against Montana State. We're set to play for yet another championship on the 11th. That game will be on ABC. They'll kick it at noon to Frisco, Texas. James Madison trying to join North Dakota State. Ethan Radke coming on to kick a field goal. That'll give him a 23-point advantage. 27 yards out. Radke is good. And James Madison now inching their way ever so closer to Frisco, Texas, up 30-7. $30-7 our score, 4:39 left to go in this semifinal game. James Madison in control. Weber State had this thing down to a 10-point deficit until the last play of the first half. That was really the backbreaker in so many ways, allowing James Madison to score from 34 yards out on a pass play to Riley Stapleton. Last play of that first half. And James Madison here at home, they haven't looked back. That's a shank. The return out to the 33-yard line. Weber State takes over. North Dakota State earlier today took care of business against Montana State. Trey Lance, who talked about this dual threat quarterback they have. 233 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 64 yards on the ground, and a couple of scores.
Yeah, he's been absolutely outstanding all year. And they've been so successful running the ball due to the fact that he is picking up so much on the ground. He had 318 rushing yards. 8th FCS championship.
They've won 36 games in a row. That's really dominant. Constantine now with the pump fake. Trying to go downfield, no chance. Ty McPherson very well covered by Adam Smith.
I think an interesting matchup, too, will be to be able to see how Dimitri Holloway comes back from this injury and how severe it is, because he is going to be desperately needed versus North Dakota State in a big game like that. He's not only a leader, as you mentioned, but a tackling machine. 111 tackles coming into today. Hopefully he can come back and make a full recovery to play in that championship game.
We saw him on the sideline. He was injured in the first half, injured his right foot, and has not come back, although he remains rested on the sideline. He was even warming up during the half to see if he might be needed to come back here in this second half. Luckily for Coach Signetti, he hasn't needed him in the second half to give him a little bit of time to recuperate. Flags down on the field on that second down pass. There's Holloway.
Pass interference, number 30, defense. Be a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Wesley McCormick guilty of the infraction. Weber State move the chains, get close to midfield. New set of downs. It's an interesting number right there. Usually coaches talk about things like turnovers, penalties. Weber State not a single penalty now, yet trailing in the game. Nice little play by Constantine getting out to Smith. Smith banged out of bounds at the 38. Heck of a play by Constantine just to find him in the crossing route. Sidearmed it to him.
Yeah, really good pass. And that's where Kevin Smith is the danger factor. I think that getting him involved in the pass game, he's not as effective as a running back out of the backfield, but he can do things like that out on a pass route when he gets one-on-one with a linebacker. Could use that more early in the game.
Constantine on the move. Nice catch by McPherson. Diving stab at it. 4 yards on first down.
And if you've ever seen guys with their ears pinned back, Rondell Carter and John Dock are on the outside of this defensive line, way wide, getting big pass rushes up the field.
Constantine steps up, hits Ames. It's thrown out of bounds, but not until after he picks up another first down.
Stop made by Ames.
So no quit, as there never has been any quit in Weber State all year. Still tonight on the road, down by 23. Still trying to make plays. Receiver tripped up, trying to get to Ames, and he just got wrapped up with the defender. couldn't quite set himself. D'Angelo Amos, two of them just hand fighting all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looked like there could have been a penalty thrown. I think the jam came into play before the ball was in the air. In college football, you can bang the receiver, you can knock him to the ground, as long as the quarterback still has it in the hand and is not holding.
Second down and 10 for Weber State. To the end zone, caught, big hit on the right at the end zone. Ty McPherson on the grab, and he scores. What a play by Ty McPherson to hang on to it because he got rocked.
Wow, Ty McPherson held on to this football, getting absolutely blown up by Adam Smith. I'm sorry, that's Amos there. Smacked him.
I think a piece of his helmet even flew up into the air.
That's close to being a targeting call. I mean, that's in that head area, launching into the head area of a defenseless wide receiver.
Good to see McPherson get up after that hit. That was a tough catch for Ty McPherson, who's been getting a lot more playing time since the injury to Rashid Shaheed, one of their top receivers earlier on in November. It's been McPherson as the go-to guy. What a great catch. Weber State still down in the game, but playing hard right to the very end. That man's going to be busy over the next few days. Santa Claus getting things set for Christmas. James Madison looks to be busy over the next few days as well. Players will break for the Christmas holiday before coming back to prepare for their game on January 11th against North Dakota State. Onside kick here by Weber State. Ball still in the air. And James Madison recovers, and they'll take over right there at midfield. James Madison has just 2 minutes and 52 seconds to run off this clock before heading back to the national championship. Take a look at what this season has meant. Under the first-year coach, Kirk Cignetti, there he is.
And they lost that first game of the season to West Virginia. 13 straight wins after that. If they win this one, it'll be 14 straight. See, that fourth season undefeated in conference play. They have become a powerhouse in their conference, and they've really become a powerhouse in the FCS, continually going to that championship game and continually playing North Dakota State.
Substitutions here for Weber State, trying to get the right defensive personnel in. Trell Palmer, true freshman, back in the game, picks up a yard. College football playoff semifinals next Saturday on ESPN and on the ESPN app. First of all, Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow. Number 1 LSU taking on Oklahoma in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl down in Atlanta at 4 o'clock Eastern. Then it's number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Winners will play for the national title Monday, January 13th on ESPN. Joe Burrow, your Heisman Trophy winner. So accurate, and that's what NFL scouts are salivating about, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's so accurate with the football, and he makes really good decisions with it too. And he's become not only just a great quarterback down at LSU, but he's become just revered as a hero to so many down there. And how great was Senior Day when he spelled Burrow with an X on the back.
So great.
That was just
talk about knowing how to work a crowd.
Exactly. He'll go down in history as one of the great quarterbacks to ever play at LSU, and I think that moment right there stands out in people's minds.
He wins a national championship down there, they'll build a statue to him. Palmer fighting hard for every yard. Picks up a couple more. It'll bring up third down for JMU. Another timeout for Weber State. Wildcats have one more timeout. Last 2 times, James Madison and North Dakota State faced off. 2016 on the road the semifinals, James Madison was able to go up to the Fargo Dome and beat North Dakota State. Then Bison got a little revenge in the championship game in Frisco in 2017. And here we go again. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. James Madison will punch their ticket. Bison already did earlier today. These two teams that have really separated themselves in the FCS division will once again meet for the title. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a nice rivalry. And based on what we've seen over the last 4 years from these two teams, it sets up must-see television on January 11th.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And there's so many great players. There's so much great coaching. There's so much great competition when these two teams face off. And gosh, guys like that making a name for himself right now. He might see some significant playing time if he's able to run the ball like that, Latrell Palmer. But it's such an exciting matchup because the games are always close and there are always battles and there's never a quit. So it's going to be a real good moment for Curt Cignetti in his first year, going to play another first-year coach in Matt Entz. You know, he took over his first year as head coach at North Dakota State. So two first-year coaches at their respective schools playing against each other in that championship game.
It says a lot about the two programs and the institutions that they're associated with and their dedication to football, because you can bring in new head coaches and new regimes, and yet the dedication to the game is still there, and they get that support from the school, and it enables them to keep going at such a high level.
Yeah, there's so many times that coaches try to establish a culture amongst the players, and in these two schools, the culture is already there. These coaches come in, and they just have to do a little bit of tweak, a little bit of game plan adjustment, but that culture lives in the locker rooms of those teams, and that's why they're able to do what they've been able to do. And look at that, 136 wins for North Dakota State. I mean, not losing in 36 games, that's ridiculous.
And you see the facilities too. You talk about the Fargo Dome. We've all seen it, how they pack that place. That place rocks. The noise. And then here at James Madison, Bridgeforth Stadium, it's going to get another renovation the next couple of years on the far side. This side of the stands that we're on right now, Mark, we're sitting high atop here in the press box. Gorgeous. They're going to add seats and add to the capacity here in a couple of years on the far side. It's just a great facility. We were in the weight room yesterday, the football offices, fantastic.
Yeah, everything's really top-notch. There's a dedication by this administration to have great athletic programs, and this football team, you know, it just highlights really the athletic prowess that the rest of this school brings, and lots of good sports teams at JMU.
Great women's lacrosse program here at James Madison. But the football team is under the brightest spotlight, and players like Riley Stapleton, who had a huge game. John Daka, one of those two great defensive ends.
And a lot's talked about those defensive ends, but they got some good defensive tackles too. And Atari and Mike Green, that starting front four has 73 combined TFLs coming into today. They create havoc in the backfield.
It'll bring up a fourth down here for James Madison as we tick under a minute to play.
See Ben DiNucci raising the roof. As this clock ticks down, he knows where they're going. These fans know where they're going. You're seeing streamers flying.
Yeah, they know the way to Frisco. They know how to get there here. That path maybe isn't as worn as it is from Fargo to Frisco, but they still know how to get there, and they'll get there in mass. You'll see a lot of purple and gold on January 11th in this championship game.
Half. 30-second timeout.
JMU calls a timeout with 30 seconds left to go. Back in 2016, James Madison beat Youngstown State for the title. Brian Shore, we certainly remember that name. A couple of touchdown passes. Khalid Abdullah had over 100 yards. Yeah. Coach Mike Houston raising the trophy. He, of course, new head coach at East Carolina after last season, moving on to coach the Pirates. leaving the job open for Curt Cignetti to come in and continue this tradition of winning here at James Madison.
We talked to Coach Cignetti about why he chose this job, why he came here. He said, I like to win. And that's just what they do at JMU. They win.
They're poised to keep winning.
Yeah, they are.
Fourth and 10 for James Madison. Trying to get to Stapleton, wouldn't you know it. DiNucci salts it away with a 22-yard strike to Riley Stapleton. That's 9 catches for Stapleton, 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a game.
Yeah, what a game it is, and they're not going to have to snap the ball again because the clock's running down.
DiNucci says, forget it. Let's walk off on this one.
And what a moment. What a special moment for Ben DiNucci. Ending last season with that 5-interception game versus Colgate, and then coming back this season, only throwing 5 interceptions all year and doing it through the air in this game to send them to the finals.
Coach Cignetti, Coach Hill meeting at midfield. Congratulations. There's Riley Stapleton, who, as we mentioned, had a huge game and really the back-breaking moment at the end of the first half when he scored his 2nd touchdown of the night. Paul Carcaterra standing by in the field with our winning coach.
Coach, Weber State brought in a really good defense. What allowed your offense to be so successful tonight?
I thought we got a good game out of our quarterback. You know, he made some throws, scrambled, made some plays with his legs. Riley had a big game. We ran the ball well enough, but we still left points out there on the board. You know, we can play better. We got to play better.
Your quarterback, Ben DiNucci, you opened up the competition in the offseason. Describe what he's meant to this team.
Well, Ben, you know, he makes it go because he's a very accurate passer, and when it breaks down, he has a knack of making plays with his legs. He's probably run for 35 first downs this year, and so, you know, he's a good player.
You're going to Frisco. You're going to play for a national championship. This is year 1 for you. What's this journey been like?
We got a veteran team. We got guys that came up short last year, so they were motivated heading into the season. We're on a mission. We got 1 more to go. Won't be happy unless we get it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kark. Thank you, Coach. 1 more to go, January 11th. James Madison and North Dakota State once more for the FCS championship game. We are looking forward to that one. You can watch it on ABC. Our guys will be down there in Frisco. Our final score, 30-14, James Madison with the win. Coming up next, the Geico State Champions Bowl Series. St. Louis High School from Hawaii takes on St. Thomas Aquinas from Florida. For Mark Kurtzlick, I'm Chris Cotter. I want to thank Paul Carcaterra for helping us out on the field as well. Now to Jay Alter and Craig Hobart.